You need to stop forcing it. In life, we have been taught, we've been brainwashed into believing that if we push harder, if we move faster, if we force it, it will come to us. We need to put in more effort. We need to grind. We need to sweat. No pain, no gain is a very common saying for a reason in the modern day. Unfortunately, that's not really how reality works. Because if you understand this very simple concept that we are all one, we're all part of the same entity, the same organism, some call it God, Brahman, the universe, creation, the one, the all. You get the point? We're all part of the same thing. The more that you push against anything is pushing against yourself, because you are not separate from anything else. We're all part of the same thing cohesively. We just perceive things as distinct. You just perceive me as distinct from you, and me perceiving myself as distinct from you as well, the camera, all these things, your computer, your room, the other people around you, other people around me. We're all seeing different things, but at the end of the day, we're all atoms. We're all part of this. We're all the same energy interacting. We're all conscious. We're all part of the same underlying consciousness. So when we understand that simple fact that we're all one, all part of the same creation, there's no true ontological, fundamental, philosophical distinction between you and me and you, and everything else around us. We understand that when you force others to do things, you are essentially contradicting yourself. You're pushing up against yourself because it is yourself. And when you relax and you allow, like a Chinese finger trap, right? Have you ever had one of those examples, the Chinese finger trap? When you relax and you allow nature to do the work, the flow to do the work, you're not resisting the natural flow. You're not swimming upstream. If you're forcing it, that means that you're swimming upstream. You're going in the wrong direction. You're out of alignment with your higher self, your soul, the natural order of things. And so over time, that's going to waste energy. That's going to drain energy. This is a very simple reason why people who grind too hard or force things, or negative entities who try to force other aspects of creation to bend to its will, it's unsustainable. Hierarchical power structures, institutions, they crumble. These empires fall because they are pushing up against the natural order of things, because they are trying to extract an artificially high amount of energy from a finite source. And because they themselves are finite. And the more that you push against nature, the more that you push against the natural flow of life, the Tao, the way, the more that you are limiting yourself, because we are limited beings. We are finite entities, right? All connected though. And so when you grow, when you expand, it's not through effort, it's actually through releasing the constraints that have been holding you down. Meaning that to be finite is to consume energy. It takes energy to maintain a finite form. The opposite of this is what we call entropy, what we call chaos. Is actually just reintegration back into the whole. It's not some, thermodynamic law that we just created because we observed those steam engines doing certain things. No, it's because the natural flow of the universe is reintegration back into the whole. What we call death, decay, entropy is actually just coming back to the whole. But that is also what growth is, expansion is. Expansion isn't forcing it, is not pushing your boundaries out. It's allowing the compression to relax. So you're, through acceptance, through presence, through things like meditation and inner work and releasing the inner blocks in yourself and letting go of the weights that no longer serve you, what you're actually doing is releasing the constraints on your being, and you're able to take in more of the universal information. And at the current paradigm you are at is perfectly aligned with your current, let's say, constraint geometry or ability, capacity to take in information from the outside, to channel higher order intelligence and energy. And so if you want to elevate in any certain way, whether it be money, relationships, success, career, exposure, a certain talent that you really like, creativity, all those things, creativity, again, it's a releasing of boundaries and barriers on your psyche and your personality and your identity, your persona. If you want all these things to expand or to grow or to elevate yourself, it is not about forcing it. It is not about jumping off. It is about letting go, releasing, or relaxing, and opening up. Because you are expanding yourself by relaxing the constraints, by letting go, melting away the limiting beliefs. The limiting beliefs are keeping you in a certain box because that box has kept you safe. And that box has become comfortable, just like a prison can become comfortable. Like Stockholm Syndrome, your prison guard can become familiar and you trust them even more than, say, your savior or the person who lets you go free because they are foreign, they are distinct. You don't really understand what's going on. Limiting beliefs are keeping you in a certain box because it was meant to keep you safe. It is a rational response to traumatic experiences or for things you could not explain when you were a young child. But the time is now to let those locks come off and to expand naturally, effortlessly. Because if it takes effort, that means you are resisting the natural flow. You are swimming upstream. That is a clear signal. Effort, strain, burnout, that shows that you are out of alignment with the natural flow of things. And when you feel flow, effortless, peace, presence, happiness, joy, positive emotions, they're telling you you're going in the right direction. You're going with the flow, right? Being in flow is literally just going with the flow, with the greater flow of things, the greater happening. All right. And this is a process, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but everyone has their own methodology. But the best way, in my opinion, that I've found doing it, along with people I've worked with over the years, is looking inside of oneself to see what those limiting beliefs are, to see what aspects of oneself are being constrained or what aspects of oneself are keeping you in a box, right? Because we have these internal parts of ourselves that block us, and that is reflected with the people externally. And so through that process, you're able to expand out naturally as you release these blocks. And to do that, you go into the subconscious mind. Now, if you want guidance or help doing that, I have a transformation guide down below that gives you a step-by-step process to transform your bad habits and your negative energies that are keeping you stuck in 90 days or less. And you can try it out for free.